Welcome back to the Brotagonists Podcast, episode 3. That's right, we made it to 3.
I am your bro host, Mason.
And I'm your bro host, Carter.
Today, we step into the sci-fi world, definitely more Carter's world than mine. But before we get started, Carter, tell me about your week. What are you reading? What are you doing right now?
Well, actually, I finally finished The Lions of Al-Rassan, and it was amazing. It was beautiful. And I remember saying it was a dense and kind of hard to get into the first couple chapters, but it ended up just being beautiful. It was the first book I've read from Guy Gavriel Kay, and I know that his most recommended book is Tigana, which is on my TBR, but I'm really glad that I started with this book, The Lions of Al-Rassan. It was great. It basically follows 2 well-known soldiers and a doctor, and she's awesome, and kind of a love triangle deal, and fighting for honor and how to live your life with honor, and I loved it. But I did also finally start the book that you recommended me this year, The Witcher: The Last Wish. And The Witcher is one of those series that I wasn't sure if I ever wanted to read, but I'm glad that you're making me read it because it's just immediate fighting monsters, killing bad creatures. It's a very fun read so far, and I'm just barely in it. What about you? What are you reading?
Before I share too much of what I've been reading, I do want to say I do like The Witcher. It's been hard for me to get into it, though, because the first 2 books, each chapter is a different short story. So remember when I started, I was like, I don't see how these are connected. And it's that way in the TV show, too, where everything just kind of seems a little separated and it all kind of comes together at the end. But it's cool to get to know the character, Geralt of Rivia, a little bit.
I agree. He's one of those characters that everybody's talking about, so I felt like I had to get into the books. It became popular when it became a video game, right?
I think the video game is actually like the most popular out of all of them, but I'm not really a gamer. Everyone's surprised by that because I'm so nerdy, but yeah, for whatever reason, I've never been much of a gamer.
So you finished a book this week and you started a book, I saw.
So I finished 2 books this week. I finished Onyx Storm. In my opinion, the worst of the Imperium series so far. But we'll talk. We'll definitely have like an episode or 2 about that series, as it's highly requested. It's very popular right now, and I have a lot of opinions on it.
I don't even think that's a hot take, that's the worst of the 3. I think
No.
that's pretty much a consensus.
Yeah, that's been pretty standard. I also read Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Great read. I didn't realize like kind of how short the first 2 books are, where they literally took every detail almost from the books and put them in the movies. And very good movie adaptations of books, I will say, where like that's not exactly the same, but they stayed overall very true to at least the first 2 books. I heard it does continue to kind of branch off a little bit, but I'll definitely see about that.
Which I completely disagree with. People get so mad that it's like not a scene for scene remake, but even me having read 7 books, which by the way, I'm shocked that this is your first time reading Harry Potter. I actually can't wait to do more Harry Potter stuff.
If you're someone that's watched the movies but haven't read the books, I've really enjoyed reading the books. So yeah, I did read this one, and I've started on reading The Last Kingdom by Bernard Cornwell. I love the TV show. I've started reading this book, and this one, broad strokes by broad strokes, is true to the TV show's true to the book, but very different. So it's been good to read and get different details and a lot of a different story. And so I've really enjoyed it. The TV show was great. And this one's more historical fiction than it is like fantasy or anything, but I've really enjoyed reading this one so far.
I would say The Last Kingdom is my favorite TV show I've ever watched, and I'll stand on that hill until I watch a better one. Well, do you want to get into the book battle then?
Yeah, just so everyone kind of has an idea of what we're doing today. We're doing a book battle to start, which will be over The Martian by Andy Weir. Got my copy here. Then we're going to do a Brotagonist IQ test, which will be a fun new game for us to play. And I think Carter's going to have a hoot with some of these questions I'm going to ask him. Then we're going to do a show and tell period of books that we each own. Then we'll do a Watchtower review over The Eternals, Phase 4 of Marvel. I will give us a weapon of wisdom to send us off, and Carter will summarize everything for us at the very end.
That brings us to our book battle. And as Mason said, the book battle this week is on The Martian. And we call it a battle because Mason has a rating and I have a rating, and we're going to come up with a Brotagonist official rating for you. So The Martian, I read it basically because of having read Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. They're both by the same author. So I thought Project Hail Mary was absolutely out of this world. So I wanted to read more of Andy Weir. And The Martian had already been made into a movie with, what's his name? Matt Damon. And I liked the movie. I remember having liked the movie. So I read the book, and the book was really great, I thought. I know that we're both going to have different opinions on it, but I rated the book at the time an 8.4. I know yours is way lower.
So I read this book on recommendation from our friend Jordan. We each recommend each other one book to read throughout the year. I think Carter, you actually recommended me Project Hail Mary, and he recommended me The Martian. And I got to Project Hail Mary first. And I think that's what made me rank The Martian so low, because I thought Project Hail Mary was really good, and we're going to review that book as the release date for the movie gets closer. But also, I'd say Andy Weir's writing was very repetitive, and reading these two books a short time apart was just kind of like dragging for me. First, I want to just share with our listeners here that I'm more into space operas than I am like textbook sci-fi, where your textbook sci-fi is like The Martian, Project Hail Mary, Interstellar, where it's our world maybe in the future and they're using kind of real science type things to make a story. Where I'm more into space operas, the Star Wars, the Red Rising. But I ranked this 6.85.
What you're ranking things in the 100th decimal places? Crazy. All right. I was willing to come down already because I realized my scales expanded a little bit, but since you have it so low, I think it's good that I kept it up there. Do you want to give us a synopsis real quick?
Yeah. So, according to ChatGPT, The Martian by Andy Weir follows astronaut Mark Watney, who is presumed dead and left behind on Mars after a violent storm forces his crew to evacuate. Stranded alone with limited supplies, Mark must rely on his engineering skills, scientific knowledge, and dark humor to survive. He figures out how to grow food, generate water, and communicate with Earth while NASA and his crewmates race against time to bring him home. The story focuses on human ingenuity, problem solving, and the will to survive against impossible odds.
So I would like to use a quote from the book just to give a idea of the tone of the book and to show a little bit of the human side, the humor side of the book, because it's so science heavy. So that's the situation. I'm stranded on Mars. I have no way to communicate with Hermes or Earth. Everyone thinks I'm dead. I'm in a hab designed to last for 31 days. If the oxygenator breaks down, I will suffocate. If the water reclaimer breaks down, I'll die of thirst. If the hab breaches, I'll just kind of explode. If none of those things happen, I'll eventually run out of food and starve to death. So yeah, I'm screwed. And that's one of the things that Mark Watney says while he's on Mars stranded. And I think it kind of sets the tone for the book.
There's definitely a good amount of dark humor in the book, which is enjoyable to read. The problem solving is fun. I think if you're into physics and engineering and stuff like that, it's very entertaining. If you kind of understand the scientific method and like how to do all those things. But for me, where I really just kind of got like, can we just finish this? Is obviously you can see from Carter's quote is there's so many things that can go wrong and problems to be solved that it just felt like every 2 days for this guy, oh, there's a problem, but I have the specific skills and or material to solve it, and I'm going to solve it. But then all of a sudden there's going to be a hiccup, but then it's going to get solved. And it was just repeat like that for how many pages are in this book?
You don't like the
400
repetitive problem solving.
Yes.
Well, I think Andy Weir is excellent. I think his greatest strength with The Martian is his clarity. The science was front and center, but explained in a way that doesn't make you feel dumb. It makes you feel smart, I think, and not confused. And I mean, there's very high level science happening, but it's really explained in a way that makes you feel smart, I thought. The protagonist's humor and resilience, I enjoyed that. Every protagonist needs to have a measure of those two things, but it was a lot of humor, and that humor, it kind of seems like out of place at first because this guy is pretty much going to die on Mars. And I think it injects, levity to the situation, and it kind of becomes his coping mechanism for dealing with his, probable death. And I thought the humor, his monologues, his video logs brought the book to life, even though he's solving pretty dry science. But I thought he did it in a fun way that was stimulating to my mind. It was like putting together a engineering puzzle. So entertaining.
I have something I liked about the book that it was kind of included in there. When he finally gets a hold of somebody, they're wanting information from him, like, how did you get stranded there? He kind of goes into all the BS of like an administrative system where they need to have someone to blame and someone to put this on that's anyone but themselves, you know? And I just feel like maybe it's because I'm at school right now that I deal with like that administrative BS all the time where it's like, okay, I have a problem that needs to be solved. I don't really care about what
Whose
forms
fault
you
it is.
need or
Yeah.
whose fault it is. I'm just trying to help this person that's in my chair. And you're making this way more hard than it needs to be. And if you're wanting me to throw someone under the bus, I'm not going to do it. And I think Mark is exactly that way where he's like, no, it's not their fault. There was a storm. They did the right thing. I'm just in the situation now and I need you to get me out of it. And you guys are not wanting to do it the way that needs to be done. And I think that's a problem with a lot of things in the scientific community and a lot of like the systems we have in place is, oh my gosh, should we cut the BS with this paperwork and just solve a problem, please?
Yeah. That makes sense to me. I can see that. And a lot of literature, I think we're looking for some form or some measure of beauty and poetry. I don't know. Something to make you think and reflect and see yourself in the book, where in the humor, you can see yourself. I think that Andy Weir kind of sacrifices beauty in writing for precision because every chapter feels very purposeful. Every sentence feels purposeful and it's very tight and it's not a long book. He sacrifices a little bit of artistry maybe for precision, but maybe you could say that is art. I enjoyed the book and I would read it again, but the movie was so well done that I might just watch the movie.
I actually haven't seen the movie.
Really?
No, but like I've seen the cover of it, so of course when I'm imagining Mark Watney, I'm just picturing Matt Damon.
Right.
And I do have a question for you. Did you feel that like Mark Watney from The Martian and Dr. Grace from Project Hail Mary were more or less like the exact same person?
I think that
It's like
Mark
slightly
Watney,
cool, but mostly nerdy type of guy
yeah,
that
like
described very similar to how Andy Weir looks. I'm like, I think he just made himself every protagonist.
I think Mark Watney wanted to be there, and maybe a little bit of a spoiler, but I think that Dr. Grace did not want to be there. I think Dr. Grace almost had more humor that I thought was funny. Project Hail Mary was a whole level above The Martian, but I can see what you mean. But write what you know, right? Maybe that's maybe that's a reflection of him as a person, Andy Weir.
Maybe. And honestly, Project Hail Mary was fantastic. It was very good. The Martian also is good. I think I was too critical. I think I read those two too close to each other. It might have been rushing the read a little bit.
I don't have much to argue with on this book other than because it's such a short book and maybe maybe our tastes are that much different in sci-fi, but I like to think they're more similar than not. And I'm actually just happy to split the difference with this book if you are. If you're at a 6.8 and I'm at a 8.4, that would bring us to a 7.6.
Talking about splitting the difference, I think 7.5 would actually be a very appropriate for this one where it's like, just recommend it to the right person. They're going to enjoy it. You could recommend it to most people and they'll be like, yeah, it was pretty good.
And it's well written. Like, that the author, his books have movie making potential.
Yeah. I think for me, why I rated it so low is just personal preferences. I didn't like because, he's stranded, that there's not a lot of dialogue and he kind of creates his own by like video journaling. And I'm not really a journal person. So it just didn't resonate with me, but like thinking back, I'm like, this book is better than I gave it credit for. It's just, I didn't love it a ton. So what do you think about a 7.5?
I like a 7.5. I think that's actually a completely accurate ranking. I like that ranking a lot because I know that it's really good writing and I know that people will be entertained with it. And what I like about it, you can recommend it to the majority of the people because it's so short. Because most of the books I'd recommend to people are, 600 to 1,000 pages. And my favorite books are so long. And this is one that's like so short that you can just be like, oh, here you go. If you like this, let me know and I'll give you more. And then you slowly work them up to thick books.
That's a good point. I can't even tell you how many people I've recommended The Way of Kings, and they're like, it's kind of slow. I don't know. I'm like, just wait till page 700. Just get to 700 and you're going to love it. And you'll thank me. And they, if they make it that far, they always do, and they always finish the series, but it's like so hard to get to that point. But this one, like, you could finish the book in a day.
It's a nice, digestible, precision, tight, purposeful book, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, and if you're vibing with the book but just don't want to read, you can even switch to the movie. I don't know if it's super true to the book, but
it's spot on.
Okay, perfect.
The official Brotagonist rating for The Martian is a 7.5.
7.5.
7.5.
I think that's like the truest rating we could have possibly given that.
I agree. Yeah, you admitted you were harsh, and I admitted I was a little over. So, oh boy, dude, I'm gonna have to go back and like really think about all the ratings I've given books, and maybe you have to re-rate them. But I feel like in the moment, it's true to how I felt in the moment. So I feel like it's almost a betrayal to go back and change them.
Yeah, but that's what we're doing here. We're trying to find the most accurate.
Well, it's good
rating.
Because it's two of us that have different opinions rating a book. And so this rating is probably more accurate than either one of ours was.
And now we're able to move on to our next segment, a brand new segment game called Brotagonist IQ Test. And I've kind of designed this game off of Carter's idea. So he came with an IQ test and said like, yeah, come up with questions and find a way to make this fun. And that's what I tried to do. So here's how the game is going to work. Carter has no idea what these questions are. He has no idea how many there are or really what the system is. So I'm going to explain it to everyone, including him, for the first time. So the average IQ in the United States is 98. We're going to start at 95 because I don't really know where Carter's at, and I think it's better to lowball for him.
So you have a full-on method here. Okay.
Yeah. So we're starting at 95, and I'm going to ask him 10 questions with one bonus question. And if he gets the question correct, it is plus 5 points on his IQ. If he gets it wrong, that's a minus 5 points on his Brotagonist IQ. Some of these questions are very easy, and some are rather difficult. And then there's a bonus 10 points at the end for the last question that's just purely how well do you know Mason?
Okay. It's like a friendship question. Okay. Yep. All right.
A book friendship question.
Okay.
But you should know the answer to that one. I'd be shocked if you didn't answer it right away. Okay. Question number 1. You should get this one easy. From the Harry Potter series, what is the name of the villain in Harry Potter?
Voldemort.
That's a plus 5 points right there, ladies and gents.
Voldemort. Come on. All right. You're just trying to warm me up. You're trying to trick me.
It takes a pretty hard right turn as far as difficulty.
Look at that. I'm already above average.
From the Chorus of Dragons series, what is the name of Kieran in his past life?
Does it start with a V? No. Oh, it's been so long.
I'm going to give you another 5 seconds.
I can't even. I'm not just going to. What is it?
The name of Kieran in his past life from the Chorus of Dragons series is Sarek.
Sarek. I don't even think I could have remembered that. Okay.
That's a minus 5. You're right back to average.
Okay.
I told you took a hard right turn. That might be the hardest question.
Did you have to look that one back up?
No, I actually knew that one.
You did read it a little more recent than me.
I did.
Not by much.
And that's not either one of our favorite series, so we might review that one, but...
The first book is A Ruin of Kings.
Give it a shot. The Ruin of Kings was a good book. The first one was my favorite.
I enjoyed A Ruin of Kings, and I enjoyed the last one, the 5th book.
Discord of the Gods.
Yes.
All right, question number 3 is from the Wheel of Time. What is the name of the World of Dreams? This is another hard one.
I almost said Shadesmar. Perrin, where are you going all the time? Where are you running as a wolf?
Egwene's in there too.
What are you doing in there? No. I literally read 14 books hearing this name and every chapter.
I would think more Egwene than Perrin, because Egwene's sections say the actual name of the place.
I promise I know it, but I'm having one of those moments.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to
I'm giving you a minus 2 for a hint. It starts with a T.
Just give me my -5. Put me down to 90.
Tilla Anriod.
Tilla Anriod, yes. Yeah, dude, I would have forgot. I wouldn't have been able to do it.
All right, so you're down to 90 now.
I need to like do some studying sessions before these games.
Carter's IQ is not looking great, folks. Let's see how he continues.
You should have started me even lower.
So this one you should get. From the Stormlight Archive, what order of Knights Radiant is Yasna Kholin?
She is an else caller.
Yes, that is correct. We're right back at average, folks. Yasna Kholin from the Stormlight Archive is an else caller, which has probably the coolest powers in the book. Okay, from the Bloodsworn trilogy, in Shadow of the Gods, who is the leader of the Battle Grim?
Elvar.
In Shadow of the Gods.
The first
book.
Gotcha. Does this start with a G? No?
You're thinking of the leader of the Bloodsworn.
You're right. I forget.
Agnar Firefist. So that's another -5 for Carter. I thought you would have known that one since he's the one that recommended this series.
Tela-Anriad, dude. I'm mad I missed Tela-Anriad because I've heard it 1,000 times.
So the leader of the Battle Grim in the first book of the Bloodsworn trilogy is Agnar Firefist. Okay, next question. From the Red Rising series. You're down to 90 points now.
It's okay. I can get Red Rising stuff easy.
Which knight is Atlas Bra in the Red Rising series?
He's the Rage Knight.
Incorrect. No. He is...
No. He's the... Oh, I already answered. The Fury Knight's not a thing, is it?
You're close, but it's not the Fury Knight. It's the Fear Knight.
The Fear Knight. No, I'll just... Whatever. I thought it was the Rage Knight. Is that a thing?
No, I don't think so.
That's not even a thing. The Fear Knight. What the heck? Okay.
So you're down to 85.
Okay.
Actually, it might be lower than that.
How many do I have left?
You have another 4 questions.
Okay. I can get maybe back to... I can get up to 100 maybe.
Okay. I'd actually be surprised if you knew this one.
Boy.
From the Imperium, where is Zayden Ryerson the Duke of?
The Duke of Talendor. The Duke of...
You're really close.
Of Tiendor. The Duke of Tiendor.
Tiendor. I'll give it to you.
Wait, what is it?
Tiendor.
Tiendor.
So that's just... You knew what it was. You just couldn't...
There was one letter.
Name. I'll give it to you.
That's nice.
This is an easy one that you should get. Rather easy. From the Mistborn series. Which 2 gods are present on Scadrial?
We've got... It's not persevere. It's not. It's preservation and... Okay, wait. Preservation and...
Here we go. We're getting back on track.
I like the IQ test.
It's pretty fun. All right, you're back at average.
Back at 95. So this is like a make it or break it right here.
Yeah, we got 2 questions left and then the bonus.
I'm counting on the bonus to really boost me.
I'm trying to remember. So from Dune, you should know this from both movies and book. Who is Paul Atreides' master at arms and trains him how to fight?
I'm thinking of Thanos.
Nope, not Josh Brolin.
Not Josh Brolin. Are you thinking of Jason Momoa?
It's Jason Momoa.
Then I forget his name.
It's Duncan Idaho.
Duncan Idaho. Yes. I love that name. Yeah. I was thinking of Gurney. Okay. Well, let's get to 100 even with the bonus question.
You have one more question. 10th question.
Okay.
I don't know if you'll know this one. What is the name of Anakin Skywalker's mom from Star Wars?
I just watched this movie 2 weeks ago when we were doing episode 1. Simple. It's with a P? Is it with a P?
No.
My goodness. How do you even know this? You don't.
Let's do. See. I don't even have the answers written on here. I just know them. Shmi Skywalker.
It's like Shmi from Captain Hook. Me. This is a little assistant.
All right, Carter. Let's see where you're at before I give you the bonus question.
90.
95, 90, 95, 85.
You're like grading my paper. It's like...
You distracted me.
Those were hard questions.
All right, we're back down at 85, so you need this question to be average.
Oh my goodness.
For a bonus 10 points, what is Mason's favorite book?
Favorite book. Okay. I know your favorite book is not sci-fi. So it's not Red Rising. It's not in the Red Rising universe. It's not Project Hail Mary. It is... I know what it is. It's Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson.
You are so close.
What are you talking about? It's not Rhythm of War.
It is Rhythm of War.
No, you changed your mind.
No, if you look at my Instagram page, you'll see that I have Rhythm of War ranked higher than Words of Radiance. Words of Radiance is my number 2 of all time.
My goodness. But at one time, before you read Rhythm of War,
Yeah.
Words of Radiance was
Words of Radiance, I think, has the best Sander launch for sure.
I think I deserve half credit. I named both of them your two favorite books.
And you had the right. I'll give you a plus 3.
Okay, 3's fine. So I'm at like a 88?
88.
You're just making
88 IQ.
Making up the rules.
10 points below average. You saw it here, the first Brotagonist IQ test. Carter scored an 88. Is that good? Not really, but
we don't know. We don't know.
But you got to hear the names of several different fantasy sci-fi series, all of which are probably at least worthy of you looking into them to potentially read.
And they'll all have their own episodes, I'm sure.
Eventually, yes.
Okay, that was fun, Mason. I gotta say, I didn't think I was that dumb. Those answers were locked away in there, but does it matter if you can't recall them? I don't know. You'll have to decide. That brings us to our next segment, Show and Tell, where I will go first.
That's great.
Okay. Right here, I just got, do you know what this is, Mason?
That Red Rising?
It is.
Oh, that's nice.
I just got this from Barnes & Noble. I saw it online. I thought it was kind of like an online exclusive from Del Rey Publishing, but then I went to Barnes & Noble and it wasn't a bad price at all. So I had to have it, even though I already have like 2 copies of Red Rising. But it's in this like nice little sleeve. So you pull it out and there's Darrow.
I love like his Reaper blade.
Yes, it looks like he's flying up to Olympus. And then here's Darrow again. Looks like he's under his claw drill. Very cool. Has solar system and continued.
I love Red Rising. It's my favorite sci-fi space opera.
So when I reread Red Rising for the 4th time, I will read it out of this copy. And we haven't talked about Red Rising yet, but it is one of my favorite series ever. I'm waiting for the 7th book to decide if that's my favorite series or if Sun Eater is my favorite series. And I love the Sun Eater.
Is it just Red Rising or do you have like the whole series and copies like that?
They said they're going to come out with more of every book, I think. I hope.
I love Red Rising. It's definitely my favorite sci-fi space opera series by a long ways. Personally, my favorite series ever is Stormlight, and then Mistborn and Red Rising are neck and neck depending on what mood I'm in.
You told me you would read The Sun Eater eventually, right?
That's on the list for this year.
I just finished it and it was amazing. That brings us to your turn for Show and Tell.
I don't know if you guys can see, but I have a number of very nice leather-bound books back there and some limited edition copies of other books. But my favorite is this one. My leather-bound copy of the original Mistborn, Final Empire. Just a really nice leather-bound book. It does have some nice artwork in it.
That's nice.
Back.
I like what they're doing with artwork.
And there's like a number of nice drawings at the beginning. Some nice depictions. I like these ones a lot. Really great artwork. It's a very beautiful leather-bound gold pages. You get like all like the allomancy, hemalurgy symbols on there. All the Mistborns that I have on there are very similar. And then the Stormlight leather-bounds that I have are really good too. What was special about this one is it was actually a present. It was a going-away present for me when I left living in Utah and I left my last job to start dental school here in Denver. My coworkers got together and got me this book because I knew I wanted to start my own library, and they said this would be the start of it. And it was really meaningful to me, and I just felt like really touched. So that's why this one is my favorite of the leather bounds that I have.
Yeah, that's awesome. I want to have those someday.
I sent you one, and this is really embarrassing. Carter's Christmas gift from like 2 years ago is still at my house, and I haven't sent it to him. True. But it was a nice leather-bound version of Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson, and it's just still sitting in my closet right now.
I'll have to take your word for it.
Also,
I have Elantris sitting on my shelf, though. I really like that. And then I'm waiting for Warbreaker.
All right, so that brings us to our next segment, our Watchtower review, where today we are kind of discussing Eternals from Phase 4 of Marvel. We're kind of just breaking it down. Why do people even like hate this movie? This movie gets a lot of hate. And To be honest, the first time I saw it, I really enjoyed it. I left just like, oh yeah, like it definitely wasn't Marvel's best work, but I like Gemma Chan. I love Richard Madden. What's Jon Snow's actor's name?
Kit Harington.
Yeah, like they were all very good in it. I think it's actually the best way they've ever filmed a fight that's super fast, you know? Where what's her name?
I have her name. Makari.
Makari, when she's fighting Icarus, like a fast fight, because usually they just slow down everything and they're moving at normal speed, where this time everything's fast, and it was super cool.
She's one of the best speedsters. So yeah, people dislike this movie for what feels like not good enough reasons. And I know that Phase 4 deserves a lot of the criticisms that it gets, but this movie I felt like was the exception. I felt like this movie was engaging. It was a fresh story, fresh heroes. The origin story didn't take forever. Like, it doesn't take a whole movie explaining their origin story. Like, the movie spans 7,000 years pretty easily. And I really enjoyed it. I like that we get to see for the first time the Black Knight, his origin story. His origin story is basically no origin story at all yet. So I guess we'll see that later. But I feel like they've made us wait too long as fans to see Kit Harington become Dane Whitman, which is a sick name, I think. But the Black Knight, basically, he gets his family crest. Cersei gives him a gift, his family crest ring. She's like, it's amazing what you can find on eBay. His family crest ring is from eBay. And then by the end of the movie, we see he has a big box to open, and it's the ebony blade. And Nick Fury's like, are you sure you're ready for that?
Yeah,
but they made us wait too long. I really want to see him.
Yeah, it's actually been a really long time since this movie's came out. It feels like, oh yeah, it was just a year or two ago, but it was actually like a year before I started dental school, so at least 4 since.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years.
Eternals came out.
Oh, boy.
I feel like it is getting too long. I don't know if any of them are gonna be included in the Doomsday Avengers, or if they are doing any more Eternals movies, because it was so unpopular amongst fans that I don't know if they're continuing it all,
Yeah, and please don't recast the Black Knight. I really want to see Kit Harington be the Black Knight. He's awesome.
To be honest, I liked pretty much all the actors in this movie. I thought there was actually a good amount of humor in it, like when Gilgamesh, like, the pie just slides off.
But I thought that was funny, but I was also like super OCD annoyed that he just spent all this time on that pie and then just drops it on the ground when he could have easily just put the pie down and then been sad. But it was also a funny moment it was a weird moment for humor at the same time. He just finds out that one of his best friends dies, and then they try to make it funny by dropping the pie.
I thought Kingo was really funny.
Kingo's funny.
And when him and Druig are arguing about like his directed content, and he's like, oh yeah, and he films I want to see. He's like, well, it's on YouTube. He's like, how many views? And he's like,
how many views?
And then Kingo's like, I don't do it for the views. And I'm like, that sounds like me with like, our low views right now. Like, oh, we're not doing it for the views. We're doing it for the friendship and the vibes.
I don't do it for the views. That's us. That's so funny. I was going to bring that same thing up, but the pie and that stood out to me. Druig, by the way, unique actor. I don't know his name. Do you know his name? But that's the guy that was dating Sabrina Carpenter. Did you know that?
I don't even know who Sabrina Carpenter is, man.
What?
I live under a rock.
Sabrina Carpenter's the one that sings Please, 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 and also Espresso. You've heard the song Espresso.
I think so. I'm in dental school. I don't have time for things like that.
She's like, don't break my heart. But then, and he's in the music video, but then he cheated on her in real life. So he did break her heart. Anyway, that's who that is. I thought you would know who Sabrina Carpenter was.
I think he did a good job portraying the characters. I found Druig like annoying and just like really self-righteous. And so when Icarus just like throws him at the earth and uses laser eyes on him, honestly, like, I'm not rooting for Icarus right now, but I love that.
Yeah, he blasts Druig into the earth. Where you think Druig's kind of going to be like an antagonist in the film, but just because like his dark mood, but he's not. Which, as you know by now, the Watchtower review is full of spoilers.
I'm a big Richard Madden fan. And he is Icarus in this one. And I was kind of disappointed that, spoiler alerts, that he, commits suicide by flying into the sun, just like the story of Icarus flew too close to the sun,
I thought it was very poetic.
It was very poetic, but I really like Richard Madden, like him walking into the room with all the other Eternals and him like blasting apart Phastos's like projects so that they
Yeah.
can't save the world. And
Yeah.
they're just like, what the heck? And he's just like, nope, we're not doing this. I was just gonna say, I really like Richard Madden's voice too, like the slight Scottish accent that he has, like when he talks, like should have done this 400 years ago, and just like throws him at the ground. Like I just love it.
It's funny that Thanos basically saved everybody on Earth by eliminating 50% of the population from the planet, because in the movie they say that because he did that, it delayed the emergence of Tiamat because there wasn't enough intelligent life energy on the planet. So basically, Thanos saved Earth, and by the Avengers bringing everybody back, it basically accelerated this process. So it kind of happened at the perfect time for the Eternals to stop it, which is, of course, how it would go. So Thanos saved Earth, even though maybe he wasn't trying to, but actually, he was trying to save the whole universe. I understand Thanos as well. Maybe I'm the bad guy.
Protagonist Nation. As you can tell, we have a lot to talk about with this movie. A lot of things that we enjoyed from it that, we're just touching the basics here of some of the characters and some of the scenes that we liked. But yeah, this movie was like largely unpopular. The only criticism I've seen of it that I really agreed with was too many new characters, too fast all at once. Where we're talking here and it's sometimes hard to remember, but I feel like every other group kind of slowly gets introduced in Marvel and they get like their own standalone movie. Like Black Panther was originally introduced in Captain America Civil War.
And this is a group of 10 new superheroes.
Yeah.
You have to remember, and I had to literally write their names down to remember some of them for the episode. Like,
I
like
can't even remember
Macaulay.
all their powers and stuff too. And
Yeah.
I still can't tell you what Sprite does other than she doesn't age.
She makes illusions.
Yeah, that's right. Makes illusions.
That's one of my last points to this movie is Icarus. He kills himself because he had to come face to face with Cersei, the love of his life, and basically tried to kill her at the end. And like, it was the conflict within himself that he just couldn't forgive, treated her that way. It seemed like to me. It wasn't that he felt like he was wrong, but that he like was betraying the love of his life.
You touched on something that I really enjoyed in the movie, which was the Icarus-Cersei relationship. I actually liked it, and I liked that it grew over like thousands of years. And I love that she tells Kit Harington's character, Dane, that her ex was a pilot because he can fly.
Yeah. And then Dane meets him. He's like, "You must be the pilot."
Yeah.
I like Angelina Jolie.
I completely forgot about her, Athena.
And it seems like Athena's memories weren't completely erased.
Yeah, I thought they could have gone a little bit more into that about...
There was just too many characters to get into, like you said.
Too many characters, too much going on. If they would have just simplified it a little bit. Also, I'm not a big comic book reader, so maybe a lot of people didn't like if it wasn't true to the comics or something, but...
I enjoyed the movie, though. I think that it's a good movie and probably the best movie of Phase 4 so far. To be honest, I haven't watched all of them.
I did really like Shang-Chi. I probably like Shang-Chi better, but Eternal's probably my number 2 from this most recent phase.
They're coming out with Shang-Chi number 2 soon, I think. But yeah, we need more of the ebony blade. That's my takeaway from this movie.
We love swords here.
We need more of the ebony blade, and it seems like the real winner of this movie could be the emergence of the ebony blade. And then, what I really didn't like was the first extra credit scene of Harry Styles coming in and announcing that he's Thanos' brother. We haven't heard anything from that either.
And the CGI in that was awful.
The leprechaun CGI was so bad.
Yeah, he's Star Fox or whatever. I don't know.
Why can they do such good CGI sometimes and then such bad CGI other times? It's just... unforgivable. Like Doctor Strange. The Doctor Strange movie had such bad CGI.
I like that. Did not like that movie at all.
I didn't either.
And I loved the first Doctor Strange too. I don't really know if we had a real topic for that Watchtower review. We just kind of talked about the Eternals. For those that haven't seen it and just heard that it was bad, I think it's at least worth a watch and give it a shot. It came out in that awkward time, like right after COVID, where no one's really going out yet. But I think if you gave it a shot, you'd probably like it more than what the reviews are telling you.
It's worth the watch. And if any of those characters come back and you're a Marvel fan, it's an important one. And we're Marvel fans, especially the first 3 phases.
I enjoy Marvel, but it's pretty far down my list as things that I nerd out about.
Yeah. Yeah. We say that Mason's most like Thor And then he says, he's Thor and I'm Iron Man.
He didn't specify that I'm Thor from Endgame.
I loved when Jordan dressed up as Thor.
That was a great Halloween.
You were a doctor?
I was
and
Mark Sloan from Grey's Anatomy.
you were McSteamy for Halloween. Nainoa was Scott McCall from Teen Wolf. Jordan Cedric was Cusco from Emperor's New Groove. Jordan Osborne was Thor from Endgame, and I was a sailor, I think, because Amanda wanted to be a sailor and a mermaid. Oh, that's funny. Good times. That Halloween party was awesome, I actually will say.
Yeah, we nearly broke the deck.
Seriously. Okay, well, that brings us to our final segment, a fan favorite, the Weapon of Wisdom. And this week, Mason has our Weapon of Wisdom.
I do. Thank you, Carter. So this is from the Red Rising series, from my favorite character in the series, Cassius Al-Bellona. And it says, "Honor is not what you say. It is not what you read. Honor is what you do." And I think for me personally, I always read about these honorable characters, and I'm just like, oh, I want to be like that. Or you see those really emboldened speeches, and you're just like, man, I wish I could command a room that way. But I think it really comes down to how you live your life day to day, and how you treat people, and what you do is really what defines who you are and defines your honor. And I love this quote from Cassius Al-Bellona, as his honor still remains.
Amazing. If you weren't going to use that quote, I was going to eventually. Well, by the end of this episode, you should know that we are Red Rising fans, and we will get there. We just didn't want to start with it. And it is so popular all over Book Talk, as you'd say, or Bookstagram, or BookTube nowadays. But we found the series through recommendation from our friend that we talked about before, Jordan Osborne. He gave us the recommendation, and that was when did we go to Las Vegas together? 5 years ago?
2021, 2020?
5 years ago? 5 or 6 years ago? So we've been fans from really early on. So we will talk a lot about Red Rising. I love it. Pierce Brown, come on our podcast. We need to interview you.
You've broken my heart enough times in these books that you owe me a live session.
Anyway, I don't think I've ever recommended a book more than Red Rising to people, because it's just so digestible and so awesome. It's awesome. And I know we use that word a lot, but that is awesome. Red Rising.
It's the most badass series I've read to date.
It is awesome. So just a little bit of a recap for today's episode. Thanks for making it this far. You are strong, especially as we are learning how to do this better and be more entertaining for our wonderful listeners. But as a recap, Mason and I agreed on a protagonist ranking for the book battle. The Martian gets a 7.5. And the verdict on that book is it's an intelligent book, it's funny, and highly readable. It's a highly readable sci-fi novel that you should read. It is a recommend, and it's short, so that's good for a lot of you that are just dipping your toes into sci-fi. Then we did an IQ test where Mason made me realize that I was stupid. I have a below average IQ, and you know what? The thing is I knew 90% of the answers, but they were locked too deeply in my small little brain somewhere. I scored an 88, started at a 95. We'll have to hear that formula again. Then we did show and tell. I showed you my beautiful new edition of Red Rising from Del Rey Publishing, and Mason showed us his Final Empire leather-bound Mistborn novel by Brandon Sanderson. Beautiful book. And then we ranted and talked nonsense about The Eternals, a Phase 4 Marvel feature film, and we are waiting in high anticipation of The Black Knight to return to our theater screens, hopefully. Kit Harington, please come back. And then Mason gave us a weapon of wisdom and shared with us a little bit of how honor is defined. So I'd recommend to go back and listen to that quote and thought by Mason. And that brings us to the end of our third episode of The Brotagonists. We really appreciate you being here and hope that we can entertain you enough to come back.
Thank you for listening. Destiny is old.
Destiny is old.